We're doing another Ask Whitetail Instinct video here. We're going to answer a couple turkey hunting questions and get to a turkey hunting blog at the end of this video. So our turkey hunting has been a little bit slow here. We've had some weather that's kept us out of the woods, and just trying to find birds on public land has been difficult because they're on the private land that's next to the public. So we're going to answer a couple turkey hunting questions here that we've had from our subscribers, do some Ask Whitetail Instinct stuff, and at the end of this video we're going to have a quick blog. There isn't too much to it, so before you write in the comments like that, not much happened in that blog. There isn't much in there, but it's kind of an interesting hunt, and it kind of gets our turkey hunting fix going a little bit before we can get some more turkey hunting content out. So that's the point of the blog at the end. And the whole other thing about that is too, we want to show you everything that happens, and if that means not having success or having success, it's what happened. It's hunting public land, so we got to show you all those aspects because that's what goes into the season. And I'm sure you guys that hunt public land, hunt turkeys on public land, if you hunt small properties, know that they like to live on that border and they go on the private when you're trying to chase them on the public. So that stuff happens. So like Chance said, we want to show you guys the real stuff because we know that's what you guys want to see. So we'll show you a little bit of that with this turkey hunting video. So just know if you're going through it, we're going through the same stuff you guys go through. We have to deal with the same factor. So that's kind of why we wanted to show you. Plus, we can't get to the one piece of public land. It's been rainy. There's been birds not on the public land. So we're having a rough go of it here early. So hopefully we'll have some more turkey content for you soon. Just hang with us. Yep. So we'll start off with some Ask Whitetail Instinct questions. Like Brody said, questions you guys have sent in, and as turkey season's rolling along, make sure you keep sending in those questions because we love to keep answering them. Yep, and we haven't had too many, like we said, turkey hunting blogs for you guys to ask questions, but hopefully we get a few more of those. You can ask some turkey hunting questions. And this first one is from Evan, and we're not going to try to pronounce your last name because like our last name, people say it wrong all the time. We'd rather not say it wrong. It just showed at the bottom of the screen, so we'll just go with Evan. And he wants to know, have you guys ever tried to put a stalk on them with a strutting decoy, or I assume like a fan or something like that? And then looks like you guys could have used that in a couple situations, especially when they wouldn't respond to the calls like they were doing last year to us. We've done it with Jake's using a tail fan. I've never had it work on Tom's, but I've never really tried it on Tom's too much. We've usually tried to not spook them is not the right thing, but I didn't want to risk spooking them with the kind of the strutter decoy or the tail fan. So we've used it on Jake's and just kind of screwed with some Jake's and pulled them in, but we've never done it on Tom's. Yeah, we've never used the strutting decoy or the big tail fan that I think we used one that was about the size of that one on Jake's, and it just works. Like if you have, especially like new hunters or kids, and you want to get them an experience, hold that thing up, Jake's will come running to that like crazy. Just be careful with it if you're on public land because there's other hunters, you don't really want to hide behind a turkey fan. You could get yourself shot. So do it on private land where you know you're the only one there and you can be safe with it. When we did this spot and stock type hunt, in the video you guys watched of the double bearded, that was a private land hunt. Not that we didn't use that tactic, but it was something we could have used, but it was on private land, those hunts at the end of last year. So it's just a public land thing. You have to be super careful using it. And we only hunt private land for turkeys kind of sparingly, so we don't really use it all that often. And the next question is from Cajun in the Deep. He goes, I plan to hunt on a small plot of land. Turkeys roost on it. It's like 16 acres, and about 4 acres are swamp, 6 acres are woods. The rest is the home and the yard. Is it a good or bad idea to hunt the roost areas? I would say that's kind of yes and no. You just don't want to put too much pressure on it because then they end up having the problem we have where they're on the land that you can't hunt. So I'd say, yeah, you can sneak in there and hunt, especially, you know, if you're not spooking them too much, you can keep going back. But if you do a hunt or two in there and you feel like you might have put a little bit of pressure on them, you know, the birds came in, figured you out a little bit, you might want to back out for a couple weeks, let it settle back down. Because I think they move back in. But I wouldn't try to put too much pressure on the roost because you don't want to push the birds off that you got. I think the key thing you said is sneak in there. Like, if you're going to hunt it, don't maybe be as aggressive as you would be on if you had more acres or if it was a piece of public land, where we like to get real tight to them on the roost, so when they fly down, they're going to be almost have to come check you out. I wouldn't get that close, but maybe try to call them up into the pasture or something. Yeah, so get to where you know they want to go, but know where the roost is and cut them off in between. So, but the key is, because it is such a small property, hunt it, but hunt it super, super smart. And like I said, if you put too much pressure, you spook them one morning, go somewhere else and let them, if you can, and let them kind of mellow back down and come back, and then you're fine. If you've got maybe some public around you that you can go and hunt, you can kind of intersperse hunting that smaller property with some of those, just so you don't put so much pressure, because you don't want to push the birds off that you have to hunt there. Another question, not sure exactly who it was from. I think we got an email on it or a private message or something, but wondered what calls we were using this year for our turkey hunts. So we're using Buffalo River custom calls. We've got one sitting back here. He's got 3 different calls. We have a link down below in the description. He messaged us earlier this winter, asked what calls we'd be using, asked if we'd be interested in using some of his calls, testing them out, trying them and seeing if we liked them or not. We've used them a little bit in a couple of our hunts that we've done thus far, and I seem to like them. I think they sound really, really good. The one, I can't remember which one I'm using. I think it's the Cobra is what it's called, but like we really like that one. Sounds really good. So really realistic. I like a raspier sounding turkey call. Sounds more like a hen to me, at least in our area. The hens seem to have that more raspier sound to them, and that one fits it perfect. So those are the calls we're using this year. And they're friction calls, so that's pretty much what we use. We've tried the mouth calls. We can't get the hang of the mouth calls. We don't have enough time to practice enough to do them. So we use friction calls. They're loud. He's got 3 different styles too. There's like a slate, a glass, and I can't remember what the other one is, but 3 different styles. So depending on what type of friction call you like, he has 3 different styles. He's got more than 3 too, I think. Like 3 or 4. He's got a whole bunch of different ones that he hand makes each one. They're super good calls. And he's from up north in Wisconsin. So if you're a northern turkey hunter and you want to support someone that's making calls in the north, you can check them out, making them, like I said, from up in Wisconsin. So that's kind of unique to see. And so that'll wrap up our turkey hunting questions for this Ask Whitetail Instinct. Hopefully you guys got a little bit something out of it. It was quick, but like we said, keep sending in your questions, and hope you enjoy this short little blog video. Get a little something out of that as well. We know it's not a lot like we talked about before, but just trying to get some turkey content out there for you, so hope you enjoy it. Well, we're going to go in tonight and see if we can't hear where some birds are roosting. Chance and I have hunted this spot back when we were in college, but it's been a couple years, so we have a good idea of where these birds are at, but still early in the season. So we're just going to get here tonight. We only probably got 45 minutes or something like that, so we're just going to try to walk back in there, see if we can't hear any birds for the morning. Bringing the bow just in case we see something and we can get around on them, but mostly just listening for gobbles tonight for spots for the morning. Right now, me and Chance, we're walking up this way. This is where we usually see turkeys. Right here on this side of this property, we crested this hill, and there's a tom coming right at us. He's coming right down the edge of this road here, working his way this way. Yeah. Spotted some turkeys already. Chance says it's working its way back up the hill, but at least we've seen some turkeys in here. We know there's some to get after here in the morning. From what Chance can tell, he thinks it's maybe a couple jakes and a couple toms. Kind of, those jakes are chasing those toms around up there. When I heard that gobble, it was a pretty short, pretty weak gobble. I think it was a jake gobble, so I'm sure probably a couple of those jakes in there and then those 2 toms. But it's good to finally see some birds in here. We know where to kind of go in the morning. Work our way back down in here to some of these oak draws. They're working their way a little bit farther to the north, but good eyes on Chance's part, because we might have spooked a couple of those out of here if he hadn't been looking at them. So it paid off to come out here tonight real quick. Only had about an hour and a half, but paid off enough. Chance spotted those turkeys, so we got something to chase in the morning. I'm excited now. Heard my first gobble this year. Ready to go.
I know, like, we were looking at deer tracks on the way in, kind of still in the deer hunting mode.
Yeah.
I heard that one gobble. I'm like, okay, it's on now.
Yeah. Like I heard that gobble over there, and I'm like, okay, we're going over there in the morning. So we got down in here this morning, got back to where we saw those birds yesterday evening. There's a couple gobbling that way, kind of far off on the private land side. We can sneak around to them later. There's 3 or 4 gobbling down this draw here. That's private, so we can't sneak down it, but we're going to set up right here on this edge, hopefully call down this draw. Like I said, real windy, so we're not going to be able to hear very well or call very well. So try to get down here in these bottoms where our sound can travel through these oaks here, so hopefully we can call to them, calm down this draw. They've roosted in here before in past years when we've hunted, been able to pull them down that draw, so we'll see what happens. Had one. First time I called, gobbled farther down the draw. The second time I called, he hammered right down here in this draw. There's 3 of them walking across this back ridge, coming right towards us. They're walking across this back ridge, so yeah, we might move up to this top tree because they're coming around. Okay, they're moving around this top ridge. See him? I don't know if we want to go back where we sat, right where we sat this morning. Yeah. They might be able to hear us. I just don't know if we can get there. We go up high, we're going to be too high. Yeah. We have to go back this way. I think we go back where we were this morning. Yeah. And see if we can sneak up on them. Yeah. We were trying to sneak up here to this high point and see if we couldn't spot those turkeys again. We didn't get very far up that hill. We could see them walking through that CRP grass. And they started strutting right on the property line here in some of the shorter grass that the Game and Parks had cut. So he snuck back here, gonna try to sneak around this draw, use this terrain to get a little bit closer, but we don't see them out there strutting anymore, so they might have went back into those hardwoods or worked their way back that way up over that hill. So we're gonna try to use this terrain and sneak around and see if we can get close enough to them. At least maybe close enough and get in their bubble a little bit and call. We might be able to get them to come in. Well, that's a wrap on this morning's hunt. So we heard our first gobbles of the year, got on our first turkeys, but they kind of gave us the slip and slipped away and we never did find them. We kind of walked around a little bit and did a little bit of scouting, and I think where we were hunting this morning is probably our best option for tomorrow morning. So we got a spot picked out where we saw turkeys walking yesterday and this morning. So that's where we'll be tomorrow morning. So we'll catch you tomorrow morning. Well, that's a wrap on our quick weekend hunt here in eastern Nebraska. Didn't have too much success. Seen a few birds, but they're feeling the pressure already, even though it's only about a week into the season. There's been quite a few guys down here trying to hunt them with the bow. So they've been pretty much staying on the private side, flirting with the private public line just a little bit, but didn't have much success. So should be out back home here in the next coming days. So should have some more turkey hunting content for you. Hopefully we see a few more birds.